Close your eyes for a moment. Now, take a slow, deliberate breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Do you feel that subtle stillness, that quiet shift within you? That, my friend, is the doorway to the miraculous. You've been taught to chase, to strive, to force things into being. Yet the entire universe responds not to effort, but to energy. And the simplest, most powerful way to command your energy is through your breath. For just 60 seconds, I will ask you to breathe in a very specific way, not as a routine, but as a sacred act, because the breath you take with intention carries the vibration of creation itself. Each inhale draws in the power of life. Each exhale releases all resistance that blocks your desire. If you've ever wondered why your manifestations take so long, it's not because the universe has denied you. It's because your breath, your rhythm of being, has not yet matched the rhythm of receiving. But in the next few moments, you will learn how to breathe in alignment with the infinite. This single practice, done with awareness, can open the floodgates of your reality. Stay with me until the end, because the breath you take tonight may be the one that delivers what you've waited for all your life. Close your eyes for a moment and become aware of your breath, that simple, effortless rhythm that has been with you since the moment you arrived in this world. Most people go through life never realizing that every breath is a silent act of creation. It is not merely air filling your lungs. It is life itself moving through you, shaping your world in ways far beyond what your eyes can see. When you inhale deeply and consciously, you are not just taking in oxygen, you are drawing in energy, awareness, and infinite power. Every breath carries within it the creative essence of the universe. And when that breath is taken with intention, it becomes the bridge between what is unseen and what is about to be seen. You begin to feel something shift inside you, a quiet recognition that you are more than flesh and bone. You are a being of spirit, breathing divinity into form. Listen to me, the secret is not hidden in distant stars or sacred temples. It is here within you in this very breath. For when you take a single breath in full awareness, you are commanding the same force that set galaxies in motion. You are aligning yourself with the pulse of creation. That's why when your mind is restless, your breath becomes shallow. When you fear, your breath shortens. And when you love, your breath expands effortlessly. So the breath reveals your state of being. It is the mirror of your inner world. You cannot breathe in fear and attract love. You cannot breathe in doubt and expect miracles. But when you breathe with presence, with faith, with knowing, you move mountains without lifting a finger. Try it now. Inhale slowly, as though you are drawing in the very light of life. Hold it not with tension, but with reverence. Feel it expand within you, filling every cell with peace, with certainty, with quiet power. Then release it gently, as if you are letting go of everything that ever made you doubt your worth. Do you feel it, that warmth, that calm stillness that begins to spread through your chest? That is your true state, the state of the Creator. The moment you consciously breathe, the noise of the outer world fades, and what remains is pure awareness, the awareness that your breath and your world are one. Every change you desire begins here, in the invisible rhythm of your breathing. For your breath is the silent prayer that speaks directly to the universe. Each inhale says, I receive. Each exhale whispers, I release. You are not begging for anything, you are aligning, you are remembering. When you breathe like this, you are no longer reacting to life, you are directing it. You become aware that the same breath that moves through you moves through all creation. And in that awareness, fear loses its meaning. Doubt dissolves. You begin to understand that you were never separate from the power you've been seeking. It was, and now, as you continue to breathe with this gentle awareness, notice how time itself begins to soften. 1 minute in this stillness can feel like eternity because you are no longer counting seconds. You are existing beyond them. The power of transformation doesn't need hours, days, or years. It needs only one conscious minute of harmony between your breath and your belief. For 60 seconds, if you breathe with intention, not as a routine, but as a sacred act of remembrance, you can reset the entire frequency of your being. The world around you may call it a minute, but within that minute, universes are rearranging. Energy is moving, aligning, responding. You think it is small, but the infinite does not measure change by size, it measures it by awareness. You see, a single moment of pure consciousness is stronger than a lifetime of doubt. When your breath becomes steady and your heart is calm, resistance begins to crumble. The heavy fog of worry, the noise of fear, the weight of old memories, they all dissolve before the quiet power of one mindful breath. And that's all it takes to shift everything. 1 minute of presence. I have seen people carry pain for decades, and then, through a single minute of conscious breathing, something within them breaks open, not in suffering, but in release. Because in that 60 seconds, they finally stop fighting. They stop trying to control life. They stop begging for outcomes, and they simply allow. That is the reset, the moment the universe can finally move, because you are no longer standing in its way. When you breathe with intention for 1 minute, you are teaching your body to trust again. You are saying, I am safe. You are telling your mind, I am ready to receive. You are whispering to the unseen, I remember who I am. And as that minute unfolds, your energy begins to match the frequency of your desire. You are no longer asking for what you want, you are becoming it. It is astonishing how much can change in those 60 seconds. The pulse slows, the mind clears, the body softens. Ideas that seemed unreachable begin to surface like forgotten dreams. You may feel tingling in your hands or warmth in your heart. It is not imagination. It is energy responding. You are witnessing alignment in motion. Think of that 1 minute as a sacred doorway. You enter it with tension, with noise, with confusion, and you exit it renewed, aligned, and certain. That small practice, when done daily, becomes a force greater than any effort or struggle. It is not the length of time that creates transformation. It is the depth of presence you bring into it. So, take these 60 seconds whenever you feel lost, whenever the world becomes too loud. Step aside, breathe consciously, and let that single minute reshape you. The world outside will follow the world inside, and your outer reality will begin to reflect the stillness you cultivated within that sacred breath. When you begin to notice that this single minute of awareness can change your state so profoundly, you start to understand the secret that few ever grasp. Your breath is not only air. It is the bridge between the seen and the unseen. The very act of breathing connects two worlds, the visible form and the invisible spirit. Every inhale draws from the infinite. Every exhale releases your hold on limitation. Through the breath, the unseen begins to take form, and the form dissolves back into the unseen. You are the meeting point of both realms. This is why when you breathe consciously, something sacred awakens within you. You are no longer just existing in a body. You are participating in creation itself. Your breath is the thread that weaves heaven into earth, thought into reality, and imagination into expression. It is the passage through which the invisible becomes visible. You do not need rituals, nor temples, nor chants. Your breath alone is the temple, the prayer, and the answer. The moment you realize this, the way you breathe changes. You no longer take shallow, hurried breaths, as though life was something to be rushed through. Instead, you breathe with reverence, knowing that each inhalation carries divine intelligence, and each exhalation carries the imprint of your intent. You begin to feel the rhythm of creation within your own chest, the silent heartbeat of the universe pulsing through your lungs. Breathe long enough with awareness, and you will sense the energy moving through you, an unseen current, soft yet powerful. It flows from the infinite source, responding to your every thought, every feeling, every assumption. You are not separate from it. You are its expression. It listens not to your words, but to your vibration, and your breath determines that vibration. When you breathe in harmony with the infinite, life stops feeling like struggle. You cease chasing what you desire, for you realize it is already flowing toward you. Your breath aligns you with the unseen forces that are forever working in your favor. The right people, the right ideas, the right timing, they are drawn to the frequency you emit through the stillness of conscious breathing. And yet, this is not about technique. It is about surrender. The breath does not ask you to control it. It asks you to become aware of it. When you are aware, it deepens on its own. It finds its natural rhythm, the rhythm of truth. In that rhythm, the barriers between you and the universe dissolve. You no longer see yourself as one who prays to a distant power. You begin to feel that power breathing within you. So as you inhale, feel the vastness of the invisible enter you. As you exhale, feel your small self melt into something greater. Let the breath remind you that you are not confined to this moment or this form. You are connected to the infinite. In that realization, the boundaries of fear, time, and effort begin to vanish, and you stand as the bridge through which all things are made possible. And from that bridge between the seen and unseen, something remarkable begins to unfold. Thought starts to take on weight, density, and form. Every idea you hold while breathing in awareness begins to shape the energy that surrounds you. The breath becomes the sculptor, and the thought becomes the design. Together, they give birth to the tangible. For every form that has ever existed began as a vibration, a whisper within consciousness, carried by the rhythm of breath. When your breath and your thought move in harmony, you are creating deliberately. But when they are divided, when your thoughts race with worry, while your breath trembles in fear, you scatter your creative power. You speak one desire, yet breathe another. You ask for abundance while breathing lack, and so the universe mirrors confusion. The outer world always follows the inner state. It cannot do otherwise. This is why awareness of breath is not a trivial act, it is mastery. It allows you to synchronize your inner dialogue with the infinite current that breathes through you. When you take a deep, calm breath while holding the image of your desire fulfilled, you are sending that image into the substance of creation itself. The air that fills your lungs carries the vibration of your assumption out into the unseen, and there it begins to rearrange matter, circumstance, and time until your outer world reflects your inner certainty. Notice how the world responds when you do this. The people around you shift. Coincidences begin to appear. Paths open where none existed before. You begin to feel that life is not happening to you, it is happening through you. Each breath becomes a silent declaration, it is done, and the universe, faithful as always, answers yes. The process is effortless once you stop interfering with it. Most people breathe without awareness, think without direction, and then wonder why their world feels chaotic. But when you choose to breathe with purpose, your thoughts slow down. The chatter of the mind begins to quiet, and what remains is clarity, the clarity of knowing that every image impressed upon your mind while you breathe with intention must eventually externalize itself. Try this for yourself. Before you sleep, close your eyes and breathe slowly. With each inhale, See the image of your fulfilled desire. Feel it as though it were already yours. Let your breath carry that feeling deep into your being. Then exhale softly, as if releasing every trace of doubt. Continue until your breath and your thought are one. When you open your eyes, something subtle will have changed, not in the outer world yet, but within you. You will feel the vibration of completion. It is in that feeling where manifestation begins, not in effort, not in pleading, but in calm knowing. Thought, when carried by the sacred rhythm of breath, becomes form. It is the invisible blueprint that the universe reads perfectly. You need not push or struggle. Your only task is to breathe consciously, think deliberately, and allow the unseen to become seen through the stillness of your being. When you begin to breathe consciously and think deliberately, something even deeper unfolds. Your desire itself starts to breathe with you. It no longer feels distant, nor does it exist somewhere in the uncertain future. It becomes alive within you, pulsing with every inhale, glowing brighter with every exhale. The desire you once chased now beats in rhythm with your breath, as though the very air you draw is whispering, "It is already yours." You see, desire is not a sign of lack, it is evidence of life calling you toward a higher expression of yourself. The moment a desire is born within you, the way for its fulfillment is already prepared. Yet the world teaches you to yearn, to hope, to wait. But creation does not wait. It responds to feeling, and feeling is carried upon the breath. When you breathe as if your wish were already fulfilled, you are not pretending, you are aligning. You are matching the vibration of the reality you seek until the universe has no choice but to reflect it. Do not underestimate the power of this. When you breathe as though your dream were already real, your body begins to respond. The nervous system calms, the heart beats with assurance instead of doubt, the cells themselves vibrate with confidence. You begin to emit the fragrance of fulfillment, and all creation recognizes that scent. People sense it, circumstances bend toward it, and unseen forces conspire to make it visible. Take a deep, steady breath and imagine that with it, you are inhaling the feeling of having already received what you desire. Not the image of wanting, but the satisfaction of completion. Breathe it in until it feels familiar. Let it become natural. Then exhale softly, releasing the old identity that ever believed it lacked. Every breath becomes a conversation with the universe, and with each cycle you are saying, "I am already what I have imagined." This is how you breathe desire into existence, not by pleading for it, but by embodying it. The moment you live in the feeling of having, the unseen moves into motion. You may not see evidence instantly, but beneath the surface, reality begins to rearrange. The people you need, the opportunities, the timing, all of it is being woven together by the invisible intelligence that flows through your very breath. And remember, this is not forced effort, it is surrender. You are not commanding the universe, you are becoming the universe in expression. You breathe not to convince, but to commune. You inhale the assurance of your wish fulfilled, and you exhale the disbelief that ever said it wasn't possible. In this sacred rhythm, you discover what it means to create effortlessly, not by willpower, but by vibration. The outer world cannot resist the state you consistently embody. What you breathe as real within will eventually stand before you as fact. And when it does, you will realize that the power that created worlds was never somewhere far above it, was moving quietly within every breath you ever took in faith. And as you continue in that faith-filled rhythm, something extraordinary begins to happen. The outer world starts to echo the inner breath. You notice the subtlest signs at first, a message at the perfect time, a coincidence that feels too precise to be random, a person crossing your path who holds the exact key you needed. These are not accidents, they are reflections. The universe is mirroring back the state you now live in. It does not delay, it does not question, it simply responds to the vibration you sustain. The breath you take in harmony with belief becomes a signal sent into the fabric of reality. Every inhale is an invitation, every exhale an acceptance. The moment your breath flows in certainty, the unseen begins its perfect orchestration. You may think nothing is happening, yet behind the veil of the visible, everything is being arranged. The forces that seemed beyond your control start to bend gently in your favor. You have not manipulated the world, you have tuned yourself to its divine rhythm, and in that harmony, all things move toward you naturally. The outer world is never first, it is always the echo. Your breath, your assumption, your inner stillness, these are the original notes, and reality merely plays their melody. The people you meet, the words they speak, the events that unfold, they are all instruments responding to the vibration you have set in motion. The more calmly you breathe in the knowing of fulfillment, the more precisely the world aligns to that knowing. Have you noticed how chaos disappears in moments of deep peace? That is no coincidence. Peace is order in disguise. When you breathe with awareness, you invite that order into your life. You stop struggling to make things happen and allow them to unfold. The mind that once panicked now trusts. The heart that once doubted now rests. And that stillness becomes magnetic. It draws to you the very reality that matches its tone. It is not that the universe suddenly decides to grant your wish. It was always willing. But now, through your breath, you have opened the door. You are no longer breathing from fear, but from completion. You are not asking, when will it come? You are declaring, it is already done. And that certainty rearranges everything. So when you find yourself tempted to worry, to rush, to grasp, stop. Take one slow, conscious breath. Feel the air enter you, pure and abundant. Let it remind you that all things flow toward balance, that what is meant for you cannot be withheld. The same intelligence that guides the stars in their courses now moves through your lungs. How could you ever doubt again? Each breath taken in faith becomes a command of creation. The universe does not hear words, it feels vibration. And when that vibration is steady, calm, assured, the world must conform. What you breathe, you become. What you become, you attract. And what you attract, you will inevitably behold with your own eyes, for the universe always delivers what the soul dares to breathe as true.